welcome back to the channel. You're probably noticing straight away that the video quality is hopefully a lot better. I have now moved completely over to the Panasonic GH5. I haven't had the chance to fully field test it yet. I'm hoping to do that later on today. But this is more a test for the angles and the quality that I'm going to get out of it, and also for the microphone on top, the Rode VideoMic Pro. So in terms of the other stuff that's going to be in this video, this scene here is the only thing that's actually shot on the GH5, because the rest of it was all shot on my phone, and I'll tell you why. So this video is going to be about the Huawei P30 and P30 Pro, my impressions about the device, and what I think it's going to be like from having a little bit of hands-on time at my job the other day. So I've written down a couple of notes just to remember what I was thinking at the time, because it was quite a lot to try and take in at once, considering it's two new devices and there's quite a lot of new technology in them, which I think is going to be quite cool. But I'll run you through the details. So the first thing I'm going to go over is the design. I think the design is quite nice. The colours are really, really good. The new Aurora and the, I can't remember what they're called, the white one. The bezels are quite even around the outside, but for some reason when I'm holding them, they look bigger than they are, and I couldn't figure out what it was, and I still haven't really decided what was causing that. But essentially, when I've been using these phones just to test them out, it seems like they're not quite there with the bezels. It's just something not quite right about it. Notch is okay. A little bit intrusive, but every single notch is, that's kind of the point. And the chin along the bottom is pretty big as well. But again, those are things that don't normally bother me. I just thought it was weird that the bezels, for some reason, even though I watched the presentation and they're meant to be smaller than most phones, they seemed quite big to me. So I'm going to try and look a little bit more into that. But so the flat top and flat bottom of the device, the top of the railings are completely flat on both sides. It's a nice little touch, but the phone isn't evenly weighted, so if you were to use that function for standing the phone up, you have to stand it on its head from when I was testing it, because the camera units on the top will just pull the phone either way if you try and sit it the right way up, so you have to put it upside down. But again, I'm not quite sure why that was a feature. I don't think that's going to benefit many people, or anyone really. It's just a design choice, but they decided to explicitly mention it in the presentation as well, which was a bit strange, but there you go. The actual display panel itself is really nice in terms of quality. It's got really good colours, not quite as vibrant as the S10 series, but still really, really good quality, and it's not as bright as I hoped I'd be. When I took it outside, even on max brightness, it still didn't seem to shine through as much as some other phones have done. So when we were just trying to take some test shots out the front of the store, there just seemed to be this complete reflective layer on top, and I couldn't really see what I was doing, and you couldn't really see through to the actual display. But indoors it was totally fine. It was really, really nice. Even indoors it was a bit too bright, so I had to turn it back down. But yeah, outside it didn't seem to cope very well with the morning sun. The next thing to talk about is obviously the camera. The quality is the same as the Mate 20 Pro in the main functions, I guess, and then obviously you've got the periscope lens as well. The periscope lens is really cool. The zoom that you can get out of that is ridiculous. Obviously when you go all the way to 50 times, you do lose a bit of quality, but if you were to compare it to any other phone right now, that's something that no other phone has done. It's very, very innovative the way that they've built it into the hardware. It's going to be, one, finding a good use for that lens, other than being a complete and total creep and zooming into people's windows and shit, and then two, managing to justify the quality of the lens when it is zoomed in that far as well. But the rest of the lenses are still good. Like I said, the same quality as the Mate 20 Pro, so they're not going to be bad by any means. They do look really nice. I haven't tried the night mode at all. I didn't really get a chance. It was first thing in the morning when we got the handsets, and then they had to be taken straight after that to be put on display. So haven't had a chance to try the night mode whatsoever. It's just been sort of in the day and in the building. One thing I did notice though is with the zoom modes, and with them sporting and emphasizing their 40 megapixel camera, they're really pushing the periscope and the 40 megapixel main sensor. If you want to zoom in at all with the main lens, you have to downgrade to 10 megapixels. I know. If you're in the 40 megapixel mode, you cannot zoom in whatsoever. so you lose out the quality of that mode if you want to actually use the zoom functionality at all. So obviously at one point when you start zooming in, it then switches to the other lenses anyway, but to just utilize that 40 megapixel to get the higher quality image as you're zooming towards the hybrid lenses, you lose that because you have to be in 10 megapixel. If you switch to 40 megapixel mode in the settings, just so you can use that mode, if you then want to zoom at any point, you have to go into the settings, switch back out a bit, go back out, get into the camera, and then you can start zooming. So that was a little bit annoying for me, having to go back and forth and test each one. And again, the quality, the image quality is still good. For me, they're always a little bit over-processed, even in the demo units I've tried, in the actual units I've tried from other people who own one. I've always found that there's always a little bit of post-processing added on there that I wouldn't really do myself and I don't really like. I kind of enjoy having a very plain image and then being able to do my own work on it after the fact. So that's just, again, personal preference, but I thought the zoom on the camera was something interesting to mention. And on the front-facing camera, there's no zoom at all. You can't even pinch in at all. Obviously, you're not going to get the best quality out of a zoomed-in front-facing shot, but on every other phone I've ever used that's got a front-facing camera, you've been able to zoom in even at least a little bit just to crop in on something if you wanted to. But on the P30 series, you couldn't do that at all, which I thought was very strange. Yeah, not too sure about that one. And just a couple of other tiny little things that I wanted to mention. There was a lot of accidental touches on the screen. I thought I would have that with my S10. I thought I would get, because of the smaller bezels and stuff, I thought I'd get a lot of accidental touches. I haven't really had any on this, but on the P30 I had a lot. Even in basic usage, I was always getting the palm touches, some accidental stuff touching at the bottom when I'm holding it. And the very, very last thing was just that when I was watching some videos and playing some music, speaker quality was average at best. Single down-firing speaker, no sound coming out the top. Quite loud, but at the sort of top 2 or top 3 volume settings, you can hear it start to crush the audio and lose a bit of that quality as well. So overall, I'm not too impressed so far. And from the reception we've had at work, I think I've spoken to 2 people that have actually even been interested or even actually knew that the P30 existed before they walked in. But there's still loads of hype around a lot of the other devices as well. So I hope that it gets big so I can hear some more stories about it, hopefully get some more experience with it myself. I'm going to try and get a review unit here so that I can actually fully play with it and take it out in the field and really use it for a day or 2. But until then, I'm not fully convinced. So that's all I really wanted to say. I just thought that because I got some hands-on time with the devices, that it'd be worth sharing some stuff with you. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comments. And if the quality is much better, or if it's much worse, or if I sound like garbage, I apologise in advance. But yeah, let me know, and I'll see you guys very, very soon.